Okay, so grabbing that comfortable seated position, and we'll start off with our regular scan of the body. Taking these first few moments, starting from the top of the head and moving to the tips of the toes. As always, this is without any judgment, so just taking these first couple of moments to notice how you're feeling, notice what's going on in your body, uh, notice where those points of tension are and spaces that might need a little bit of extra love as we get started, and those spaces that are ready to go and ready to work today. I slept a little weird last night, so I'm feeling a little tight. So I'm looking forward to these warm up ranges of motion to get started with. So just taking that analysis of your body and just being aware of it, so that as we move into this practice, you can take your own. As you finish that scan of your body, I invite you to take any initial range or ranges of motion that will help you get started with your practice on the right foot. So if you found that tension through the lower back, maybe it's a cat and cow, maybe it's a spinal twist. If you found it through the upper torso through the abs, maybe it's a lateral stretch. Maybe it's a roll of the head and the neck, or if it's through your legs, maybe it's a forward fold or a downward facing dog. Just taking about 4 or 5 more nice deep breaths, any of those initial options, initial ranges of motion, or it can, as always, be anything that I didn't mention if there's something that you know feel particularly. Taking a couple more nice deep breaths here, finishing out those ranges. And then when you do, just making your way back to that comfortable seated. And about 2 more breaths wherever you are, any of those options, finishing it out. And with that next breath, bringing it on around, bringing it over to our comfortable seat. As always, it does not need to look exactly like mine. If you prefer legs out long or knees bent, feet planted, that's also a fabulous option. We're going to start off with our roll of the head and the neck today. So that first inhale finds that nice long spine. That exhale drops the chin to the chest, letting that stretch through the back of the neck, opening up there, a little bit different range of motion maybe than you've done today. And then rolling the head side to side at a pace that feels good. Right ear towards that right shoulder, opening up through the left side of the neck, and then down through center. Same thing, second direction, left ear towards the left shoulder. Just a few times here, nice and easy, side to side. As always, if you'd like to reach those hands down towards the mat for a little bit deeper of a stretch, you're welcome to. If you prefer a little bit of a hold in one direction or the other, feel free to take that. Fabulous. Once more in each direction. And then after that second side, that next exhale drops that chin back to the chest. And then our inhale lifts that head back up. From there, we're going to go into our lateral stretches. So that next big inhale takes those arms out and up towards the ceiling. That exhale takes that right hand and maybe that right elbow down to the mat. Left arm up over top, creating a whole ton of length from left fingertips down to that left hip in contact with the mat. Next inhale pulls us up through center, nice and long, nice long spine. Exhale to that second side. Same thing on that other side, lots of length from those right fingertips to that right hip. And then let's go ahead and move a couple times each direction here. That inhale pulls you through center. That exhale in that first direction. And then same thing, second direction. Excellent. We'll go twice more each way. If you're moving a little faster or slower, feel free to keep up that pace. Nice. And one more time in each direction here. When you finish that last one, we're going to go into our spinal twist next. So if you're someone who likes to take this nice long arms through center right into your spinal twist, you're welcome to. Or you can circle those arms down and around. Our inhale finds our long spine. Our exhale brings us into that spinal twist, opposite side hand to the outside of that leg. Same side hand around behind the back. And then same as always, go ahead and flow at a pace that feels good for you. Inhale, pulling you through center, whether those arms come up or stay low. Exhale in that second direction. A few times side to side, keeping it moving right like that. Finding that nice stretch through the spine, getting it all warmed up and ready to go with all the Pilates work that we're going to do today. Getting this spinal twist in early is good. Fabulous. Good. Once more in each direction. As always, if you need that third change of direction to even out, feel free. When you finish that last one, that inhale brings you back to center. If you were taking those arms up, they circle down and around. If not, just releasing those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. I'm going to turn sideways so that I'm at a little bit different of an angle here, but feel free to stay facing front. We're going to take the legs, bend the knees, and plant the feet. We're going to do our other kind of spinal range of motion here, our front to back. With our inhale, touching those hands behind the hips, opening through the chest, kind of pressing the chest and the belly forwards, just kind of like our cow pose if we were at hands and knees. And then I'm just going to walk my hands forward, round my spine out towards that back wall, open up through the shoulder blades as if we were kind of in that cat pose. So just a few times here in each direction, moving the arms and the spine in opposite directions. As always, if you like a little bit longer of a hold, or if you like to tilt that chin back a little bit, feel free. If you like to move a little faster in these warm-ups, you can move. Let's go ahead once more in each direction. And then bringing those hands behind the hips, lengthening those legs, bringing the spine back up nice and long. And then we're just going to find 3 nice, gentle forward folds. If you need a slight bend in those knees, feel free. Be gentle with yourself for this first lower body stretch. And then walking those fingertips down towards the shins, the ankles, the toes, wherever you're at. Turning those hips underneath, finding those shoulder blades coming open. Maybe you let the head release, maybe you don't. We're going to come out of this and into it just twice more. So that next inhale brings us up, long spine. Exhale, folds us forward, fingertips towards those toes. Taking a little hold here. Excellent. And one more time, we're going to inhale to bring it up, finding your long spine. And exhale to fold it forward. A little bit longer of a hold here, a final fold before we get moving. Nice. One more nice deep breath here. Excellent. Go ahead and release that stretch. We're going to bend those knees, plant those feet. We're going to use this to just kind of transition down onto our mat so we can get started with that core work. So finding that long spine, those long arms. I want you to take this super slow and controlled, super mindful, rolling it down vertebrae by vertebrae, resisting gravity as we bring it down to the mat. When that head reaches, then go ahead and release those arms. We've still got those knees bent and those feet planted. We're going to start off our core work here with a couple of glute bridges, nice and easy. So just to start with that activation, we're going to do 3 as just a fluid range of motion. And then at the end of that 4th one, we'll find a hold at the top. So first one, pressing those hips up, the bottom of the feet press into the ground. We activate through the glutes and the core, and then we exhale to lower down. 2 more exactly like that. Pressing those hips up, squeezing the glutes, the core, activating the quads, and lowering down. Once again, one more just like that, pressing up, finding that glute bridge, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, lowering down. And on this last one, we're going to find a little hold. So pressing those hips up, finding that hold, pressing evenly through the bottom of the feet, Activating the glutes, activating the rest of the legs all the way down to the toes, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. So I want you to think about tensing the core. It shouldn't be relaxed. And then if you want a little bit more tension, you can press those palms into the ground and activate the shoulders, activate the arms. We're keeping this hold up here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower those hips down. We're going to keep those knees bent and those feet planted and start our core warm up with a crunch. So fingertips can either come behind the ears or point just towards those knees. And we're just going to crunch up, rolling the head and shoulders off of the mat and then lower back down. So we've just got a few of those. I want you to think about keeping the chin about a tennis ball size space away from the chest. So we're not rolling back up towards that crunch, keeping it nice and long and neutral. And we're just lifting the head and shoulders off, activating through that upper core to pull us up. Thinking about those different muscle activations that we can do all the way through the body. We're here in this crunch for just another 10 seconds, keeping it moving nice and controlled. Fabulous. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is a modification of our Pilates 100. So traditionally for our Pilates 100, we would hold one position, we would move the arms, and we would breathe. We're going to move through a couple of positions here as we go. We're going to start with our knees bent and our feet planted. We'll lift the head and shoulders and have the arms long. When I say to switch, our first switch is going to be to lift one foot off the ground to our 90 degree. Other foot is pressing down into the ground. We'll continue to move the arms and breathe. Our next switch will be just switching those legs. Other foot is off the ground. That first foot that was lifted presses into the ground. Our third switch is going to be to bring both knees or both feet up off the ground. Our knees are at 90 degrees. And our final switch, we'll take those legs out long. They can point a little closer towards the ceiling for a little bit easier of a time here, or a little closer towards the floor for a little bit more of a challenge. As we move through those, we'll be pumping those arms down towards the floor. Head and shoulders will be lifted and breathing in and out in counts of 5. I'm going to try and say switch, but as I count, sometimes it gets a little mixed up, so bear with me. If you get a little bit lost, just look at where my feet are as we get moving. So pointing those fingertips towards the front of the room, knees bent, feet planted. We're going to lift the head and shoulders off the mat. We're going to start to move those arms and our inhale and exhale in 5 counts. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. First switch. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Second switch. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Both up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. Legs long. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. And relax. Knees towards the chest. Take a second. We're going to do that one more time through, just like that. All right, great work. Go ahead, bend those knees, plant those feet. Fingertips point forward, lift the head and shoulders. Same exact thing one more time. Getting ready to go. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. First switch. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. Second switch. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Both up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Legs long. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, and relax. Fabulous work, fabulous work. Relax the head down. Pull those knees in towards the chest, or bend the knees, plant the feet, windshield wiper those knees, little spinal twist. Awesome job. All right, great. We're gonna move it on. I want you to take that right leg out long. I want you to press that heel into the ground and lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. We're then gonna take our arms out into an A frame, so out to our sides. We're gonna keep that right foot on the ground all the way through this range of motion. And I want you to think about activating down towards the ground with that right foot as we move. I also want you to press that lower back into the mat. So if you need to lower that left leg a little bit so it doesn't bother the hip flexor, feel free. And we're just gonna do a single leg lower lift. So pressing the palms, heel, and the lower back down towards the mat, we're just gonna lift and lower that left leg. So keeping that activation through the body as we move that left leg through its range of motion. Again, keeping the lower back nice and stable and safe. So if you need a little less range of motion for that hip flexor or that hamstring, feel free to keep this a little bit smaller. We're here for about 10 more seconds, keeping it moving. Excellent. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing that tension. We're just gonna switch those feet. So same thing, left heel is gonna press into the right leg is lifted. Maybe this range is a little bit different. Palms placed onto that ground, pressing down, activating. Here we go, lower lift. Lower back stays solid and sturdy. Keeping it moving right like that. Keep that core activated. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Excellent. Fabulous work. Fabulous work. Awesome. We're here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put that right knee in towards the chest. Keep that left leg out long. All right, we're gonna do our single leg stretch up next. So right knee starts pulled in towards the chest. Our left leg is gonna go out long. It's gonna lift anywhere between 3 inches to a couple of feet off of the floor. As always, the higher that foot goes, the easier this will be. The lower it goes, the more challenging this will be. Head and shoulders lift, we activate through the core. Our feet are gonna meet out long at center, so that right leg goes out to meet that left. Little pause, and then we pull that left foot in. So our single leg switch here, as always, and slow and controlled. That neck is nice and neutral, so we're not pulling the chin in towards the chest here. And we should have that little pause where both legs are long. So this isn't our bicycle or our crisscross. This is our single leg stretch. Keep on breathing. Keep it on moving here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, pull both knees in towards the chest. Take a moment. This is going to transition us to our next move, which is our double leg stretch. Same concept. So those knees starting towards the chest. We still lift that head and shoulders up off the mat. As we inhale, we're going to extend long in both directions. Keep the lower back planted. If you need higher, that's easier. If you need lower, that's harder. And then we're pulling back around in towards center. Here we go. Getting it moving right like that. We extend long, and then we pull in. As always, try and keep that neck neutral, making sure that we're not pulling the chin in too close to the chest and activating through the neck. Fabulous work. We're here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, pull those knees back in towards the chest. Take a moment. Awesome. Let's give that core front just a little break. Bend the knees, plant the feet. We're going to take it up into our glute bridge. So press those hips up, activate through your posterior chain. So squeezing your glutes, your hamstrings, pressing your heels down into the ground. Maybe you press those arms down into the ground. If you'd like to add a little bit to this, you can march those legs. One foot coming up, hips staying even, and then back down through center. Same thing, other side. If you don't want that extra little bit, then just keep both feet planted here. Keep those hips nice and high. Excellent. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and set those hips down. All right, this time we are going to take it into our crisscross. So same as our bicycle as you would see in a traditional core class. Knees are up at our 90 degrees. Fingertips are behind the ears. The lower and longer you take that long leg, the more challenging this will be. So I want you to keep it in control. We're going to take that left leg long, bring that right elbow up towards that, left elbow up towards that right knee. There we go. And then switching side to side. Again, the lower and longer you take that leg, the more challenging this will be. And we want to keep it under control so we're not running off the rails with our side to side. Making sure we're breathing all the way through this. Fabulous work, you guys. Lots of core work today. Like I said, lots of core front. You guys got this. We're here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and pull those knees in towards the chest. Take a moment. All right, we've got 2 more movements here before we get into a little bit of a break, a little bit of stretching. Our second to last movement takes both feet up towards the ceiling. We're in our double leg lower lift. So hands can be out in our A-frame, or for more support, they can be under those hips, under that tailbone. Keeping those legs as long as you can get them. So if there's a bend in your knees, if your hamstrings are tight, that's totally fine. We're bringing them down towards the floor. The lower they come, the more challenging this will be, but we want to keep our lower back nice and safe, and then back up towards the ceiling. If you want more challenge, lifting the head and shoulders off the mat, activate that upper core as well, keeping it moving right like that. We've just got a couple moments of this. One more core exercise, then that core gets a nice long break. Excellent. Make sure you're breathing here. We've got another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull the knees in towards the chest. Nice. Bend the knees, plant the feet. Inhale, take those arms up overhead. Final movement's going to be our roll ups. Exhale is going to circle those arms around, using as little momentum as you can to come up off the floor. We're rolling up. Our inhale is that nice long spine at the top. Our exhale rolls us back down to the mat. So wherever you are today, use the momentum that you need with those arms. So if you need a little more, feel free to use them. If you need a little less, that's going to be a little bit more of a core challenge. We've got a couple of these here, keeping it moving just like that. I know we've done a lot of core front work, so stick with me. Got a break up next. You guys are doing awesome. Fabulous, fabulous. Few more, just a few more. Making sure you're finding that long spine at the top as well. Excellent. We're in this roll up for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Complete the one that you're at. Bring it up to seated. So we're up nice and tall, and then we're going to bring it into a fold. So take those legs out long, fold it forward, find that stretch through the back, through the legs. Excellent, excellent. All right, so like I said, we're going to use our kind of yoga portion for a little bit of a stretch today. Let's get back up to that long spine. If you'd like to take a moment, grab a sip of your water or your beverage, feel free to take your pause here. If not, we're just going to find our fold once more. So folding it forward, fingertips towards those toes, maybe multitask, grab your sip, and then bring it into that fold for that stretch, wherever you're at. We'll take about 3 more seconds, 3 more breaths, 3 more breaths. Awesome. All right, we're gonna make this transition into our half pigeon. So we're up nice and tall. I'm gonna bring my left leg in as I was gonna find a little stretch. So left leg is across the front. You wanna start with your right. We'll hit both sides. I'm gonna roll over towards that left hip, and I'm gonna circle my right leg around. So it kind of almost all the way gets back there. And then I'm gonna bring my weight up onto my shin. It's gonna adjust where it needs to be so that my hips can sink down into that half pigeon stretch. Top of that right foot meets, those palms meet, or those elbows meet, or that forehead meets the back of those hands. We've got a couple moments in this half pigeon stretch. Trying to allow your lower back to release a little bit here, even through that hip flexor stretch. Fabulous. From here, we're going to take a moment in our downward facing dog. So if you found those elbows, go ahead and bring it back up to those palms. We're going to curl that right toe under as we send those hips up and back. We'll send that left back to meet the right, finding that little bit of a stretch for that lower body here, pedaling up those heels, finding that stretch for the calves, for the hamstrings. Excellent. From here, let's go down to our child's pose. Knees wide, hips back towards the heels. This one might feel good if that core work made your lower back feel a little bit tight. So trying to just kind of release that lower back, finding your exhale, giving it that nice stretch. Maybe you walk the hands side to side if that feels good for the lower back. Maybe you bend the elbows, bring the hands to the shoulders. We've got a couple breaths here. Nice. And then another one that'll feel good after that core work is going to be our Cobra. So bringing those hips up, pulling those knees underneath, pressing those hips forward. You can find that full Cobra or that baby Cobra if that's where you're at today. That's fabulous. Choosing the option that feels good for you. Trying to pull those shoulders low away from the ears, so not sinking down in between them, but keeping the core activated. Excellent. We're going to go through our down dog just to make our way back to that half pigeon. So curling those toes under, activate the core, press the hips up. I started with my left leg forward, so I'm going to take my right leg forward for this second one, sinking that shin right underneath those hips. Top of that left foot meets I'm in that half pigeon here, same concept. Palms or elbows are fabulous wherever you need to be. Excellent. And we're going to bring it back around to seated. So if you found those elbows, bringing it to those palms, rolling onto that right hip, circling that left leg around. Right. Like I said, we've got a lot of Pilates core work today. So we're going to go back through a few of those movements that we hit. We're going to keep that core working, and then we'll finish out with a stretch. We've got about 10 minutes left. That's it. So we've got about 5 minutes of core and then 5 minutes of stretch at the end. Bend the knees, plant the feet, roll it on down onto your back. When you get there, taking any kind of quote unquote recovery pose that feels good. So if knees in towards the chest feels really good for you, take a moment there. If you like those knees bent and those feet planted and that windshield wiper of those knees for your spinal twist, feel free to be there. Whatever feels good, whatever works, take a moment. Excellent. Go ahead and pull those knees back in towards the chest if they're not there. All righty. We're going to take that right leg out long, press that heel in towards the mat. That left leg goes up towards the ceiling, palms down to the mat. Here we go. We've got that single leg lower lift. So just bringing that foot down and back up just a few times here. I want you to really think about keeping the body that's on the floor activated. So this isn't just that lower lift. We're pressing that right heel actively into the mat, keeping that lower body engaged, keeping that core engaged. Go ahead and switch feet. Next time that left leg comes down, plant the heel, take that right leg up. Same thing, other side. Other side, fabulous work. Keeping it activated, press that left heel into the mat now. Awesome, fabulous. Keep that lower back nice and safe. Keep it sturdy here. Nice. Next time you take that right leg up towards the ceiling, give me a pause. Take the left leg up to meet it. We're going to just transition this directly to our double leg lower lift. Arms can stay out wide or they can come under those hips. Here we go. Keeping those legs long, lower them through your range of motion and bring them back up. As always, your range of motion is dictated by keeping your lower back nice and safe. So at the point where it starts to pop up off the mat, end of that range of motion and take those feet back up. Even if it's only a foot or two, we're still bringing them down, activating, and back up. Same amount of core work. We got to build up. Excellent, excellent. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees in towards the chest, knees in towards the chest. Excellent. Single leg stretch is next. Right knee stays pulled in. Left leg goes out long. The higher it is, the easier it is. The lower it is, the harder it is. Here we go. Head and shoulders lift. Right goes out to meet the left, and then left comes in. Keeping on working. You guys got this. I know it's tough. We've done a lot of core work here today. That's okay. If you're shaking, it's working. Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Next time those feet meet out long, I want you to pause at our 6 inches. If you need to come up a little higher, feel free to lift them up a little higher. We're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull both knees in towards the chest. Both knees in towards the chest. And we've got our double leg stretch to finish out this little segment. Extending nice and long in both directions, and then circling around to pull those knees in. We'll get a little break after this. Stay with me. The higher those feet go, the easier this will be. The lower they go, the more challenging. So choose your level. We're here for just another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Pull those knees in towards the chest. Take a moment. You guys did great. Excellent. We're going to finish out this segment with another round of that 100. So we're going to start with those knees bent and those feet planted. Same transition, single leg, second leg, both legs, legs long. Starting with those knees bent, those feet planted, point those fingertips long, lift the head and shoulders. Getting ready. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. First switch. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. Second switch. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Both legs. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Legs long. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3. Almost there. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Relax. Fabulous work. Fabulous work. All right, final bit of work before we stretch it out. We've got 3 roll-ups. 3 roll-ups. That's it. And the knees, plant the feet. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale brings us up to seated. Nice long spine, nice long arms. Use your momentum that you need. Exhale rolls us down. Same thing. Inhale, exhale rolls us up. Inhale, long spine. Exhale rolls us down. Last time, and we're just going to go on the first half, bringing it up. Exhale rolls us up to that nice long spine. Inhale finds it. Exhale releases those arms. Fabulous. And we're going to stretch it out here. Same thing that we did before. Let's find that pigeon. So holding that left leg under, circling that right leg around, bringing it up onto that shin, up and over. And then we're either on those palms or on those elbows, whatever feels good for you. Finding that little bit of a release of the lower back. That hip flexor stretch, if you like to add the intensity of that quad stretch here, you can bring it up to those palms right in front of that shin. Bend that right knee, toes up towards the ceiling, circle that right arm around to catch those toes. That doesn't feel good. You stay right where you are. If you did find that quad stretch, go ahead and release it nice and easy. Bringing it to center here, finding those palms. If you found those elbows, we've got our brief down dog. So curling that right toe under, setting those hips up, left goes back to meet the right. Take your moment in your stretch, and whenever you're ready, you can bring it down to child's pose. I'm going to take a couple moments here. A couple breaths. Pedal up those heels. Nice. And if you haven't already, go ahead and send those knees down wide, hips back towards the heels. From here, let's take it to our Cobra, sending those hips up and over and knees pull under. Hips go down towards the mat, that little stretch there. It can always be your baby Cobra. Fabulous. Let's hit that pigeon on the other side, curling the toes under, sending the hips up. I started with my left leg in front, so I'm going to send my right leg underneath. Shin meets the mat. Top of that left foot meets the mat. Palms, elbows, wherever feels good here. And if you want that quad stretch, you can bring it up onto those palms right in front of the shin. Left toes send up towards the ceiling, and left arm reaches around to grab. If you found that, go ahead and release it. We're going to roll from the half pigeon to seated. So right hip sends down, left leg circles around. We're in our comfortable seated position. All right, when you reach that comfortable seat, find that first inhale to take those arms out and up, stretching nice and long away from center. Big stretch, fingertips towards the ceiling. Lateral stretch once each direction. Right hand comes down to the mat. Left arm comes up over top. Inhale pulls you through center. Same thing, second side. Inhale pulls you up to center. Spinal twist once each direction. Exhale brings those arms down, those shoulders towards that right wall. Inhale through center, second side. Inhale up to center, nice long arms. Exhale circles the arms down and around. One more nice deep breath just to finish us off here. Inhale takes us out and up. Palms meet up overhead. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Thank you for joining me on this sunny Wednesday morning. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, great rest of your week. The light honors the light in you, bowing as you say. Namaste.